Get into it. Boom. What's up? How you doing? It's time to get moving and grooving with Whatchu Spinnin episode 89. We're here. It's sunny. It's Saturday. And I'm Dorian. That's Matt. And that's Jake. We are all here. We are all happy to be here. How are you boys doing?
Fantastic. Yes. El Fantastico.
Doing great, man. Solid weekend. Good weather. Good music. Good vibes. Everything's good.
Yeah, it's sunny and nice and sunny here today. How's the weather in Bend?
It's good. It's sunny. It's not very cold. It's like in the 40s, 50s. Literally, we got a pretty funny April Fool's, like the 1st, it snowed here, and there was snow in fucking springtime. So, Mother Nature just kind of giving us a wet willy, but it's sunny today.
Hell yeah. Wet willy, goddamn, giving you a noogie. Hell yeah. Well, before we get into it, we got to ask the age-old questions, man. What's everyone been listening to other than the 3 albums? Anyone pick up anything new or cool from the record store or elsewhere? What you guys got?
What do I got? I'd have to think on mine because I'm just one of those people that go back to what I like. I do branch out a lot. But let me peruse through my Spotify real quick.
Perfect. I messaged you. So sorry. I messaged you guys about this, but we can talk about it on the show as well. The sun's been coming back out, so I've been listening to more like post-hardcore, like that Kyoto's type shit, and I anticipate that will move right into a folk punk revisit. I feel that brewing in the back of my head. But I revisited our People's Champion album yesterday while I was at work. I put on Ready to Die. Fucking Notorious B.I.G., man. Let me tell you. Whew! I hadn't listened to it since we covered it. And my God, man, that album is so good still. It's why it won the bracket. But I was listening to it yesterday and I was like, holy shit. It like took me back to when I first got into it, when I was like 19, 20 years old, just a scumbag. I was like, oh my fucking God, dude. I was like loving it. So give that a revisit. All's Well That Ends Well by Kyoto's. Also listen to that. Yeah, that's like, I think the 2 big ones that I've been listening to. I found a cool song that I added to my like ambient playlist. We went to a thrift shop or like a thrift store the other day, and this kid was like some like 22-year-old kid just working, and he was playing some like cool like fucking like super almost like Mokhtar sound, like that type of vibe, but like ambient, kind of like cool, like Scorpion King-esque is what I would describe it as. It was pretty sick. I'll send it to you.
Cool.
Listen, like it's pretty good. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot other than this stuff.
Nice. Dude, speaking of like post-hardcore, like a couple of days ago on my lunch, I was like driving and Under Oath came on, and I almost sent it to the group, but I was like, let me hold it back. But Define the Great Line. Oh man, that album, I fucking love that album. That album is like, it's like almost right there with their Chasing Safety. It's like right on the brink. But I was like, okay, fucking cool, like similarities. That also, we have been spinning a lot of different stuff. We spun Solange a couple of nights ago. And spun Kigaku Moyo, that album, Masana Temples. So kind of still doing like, I guess, chill, groovy stuff. But these albums too, I've been really digging these albums.
Hell yeah. Matt, you got anything Just the huge.
Just the use, but one album, that Butcher Brown Letters from the Atlantic album. It's kind of a hip hoppy jazz, kind of funky vibe. Butcher Brown. That was a fun one. I think I shared it in the group chat too.
Hell yeah.
Been playing that a little bit, and just going back to the albums we picked this week and reviewing those and diving down some of their other discography from some of those artists too. So that's been fun.
Yeah. I feel like we've gotten to a point where like we've covered so much stuff that it's really I like doing these talks because it's like what is your algorithm just like plopped into your lap somehow, you know what I mean? Like whether it's like your Facebook algorithm or like even Spotify suggestions have like there's been some cool shit that I found a while back from just that stuff. So that's cool. I went to Moonrock yesterday. Shout out Callie. She's doing great. And got a Madlib like beats. Like it's one of the Madlib medicine shows based solely off the cover because it's like a guy riding a motorcycle over someone's head and like shooting a gun. It's like crazy. It's nuts. After this, I'll go grab it and show it to you because it's fucking. I was like, this is incredible, and I like listened to it on my walk this morning. And I was like, yeah, I did all right. I was like, that one was worth the squeeze. But yeah, rock on. Let's see. Do we have anything?
I did. I really tried getting into the new Playboy Cardi album. I can't do it. This is like a song or two maybe, but I can't do it. Like I don't know. I've always kind of been about Playboy Cardi, even for like that other album that he dropped before this. But like I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. I'm not hip. I'm not with the times of the youngins. I can't do it anymore, I guess. But Luther Vandross did come up randomly in my shuffle yesterday, and that was vibe.
That's cool.
But yeah,
I like it. Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Rock on. Well, if we don't have anything else, shall we move right on into it?
Yeah.
Let's move. Let's ride the snake, man.
Let's ride the snake. Okay, well, we're going to move right on into it. It's Whatchu Spinnin, episode 89.
Yeah, the loop digger.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. And then the back's crazy too. It's like even more. He's just killing cops. It's fucking crazy.
It's a show. It's a show waiting to happen.
I know.
Like an Adult Swim late night cartoon, dude. That's great.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, this would be in like Madlib soundtrack too. That'd be sick. Oh
yeah.
Hell yeah. We can make it happen. They did shit with Doom, so we can make it happen. I'll write a letter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could guest star Mr. Pickles or something.
Yeah.
Mr. Pickles.
Oh.
Dude, they took that show off Hulu, and I re-got Hulu again, primarily because I wanted to watch that. But they took it off. You need to have like cable with Hulu or something, and it's like $80. It's stupid. But Samurai. Okay, I guess this is cool because it's music related. Samurai Champloo. It's an anime. And Nujabes did the soundtrack for it. Beautiful.
Oh, shit.
And it's fucking sick, dude. It's a really cool anime. It's like about this girl that's trying to find a samurai that smells of sunflowers.
Huh.
It's really bizarre, but it's pretty good.
Interesting.
At the end, it's just me because I just crush sunflower seeds.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a pretty fucking cool show. I'm hooked on it.
Hell yeah. I've heard a lot of good shit about that one. Okay. Well, great. I wrote that down. I might have to finally check it out. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. It's a beautiful day to talk about music with your pals. And by golly, do we have some good shit to talk about today. We're going to kick it off with my pick for this week. You ever like make a decision and then you're like, oh, I'm like not mentally prepared to go first. I was like, hold on, let me actually like lock in for a second. I was just like, but anyway, it's my pick for this week. 2015's Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. One of my favorite albums ever. My favorite album from 2015. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of appreciation for it. I've been waiting to bring it up for a long ass time, but y'all tell me what you thought.
I thought it was a great rock record. I feel like I haven't listened to a rock record in a while, or like went down that specific genre, just like rock and roll. And this is like blues rock, shoegaze, like bluesy kind of combination of garage rock and all these other different influences. And the vocal behind this is so unique that it sets the whole thing apart. Like great musicians, great instrumentation, but this vocal stands out beyond belief. Sound and color. It's just, it captures you right away with that opening track, and from there, like you find individual parts in each other track that are just amazing. They slow it down at times, but they just keep going, and it's just such a like happy, upbeat kind of outside today with this going. It's like a perfect vibe right now with this, So great pick. I'd never listened to the album or this band before. I've heard of them, and definitely should have heard of them a lot sooner. So thank you for bringing this up. This is a great pick, man. I loved every ounce of it, and I'm gonna dive into their other albums at some point. But a lot of standout tracks, but it just has that blues vibe throughout the whole album. And I love that. So good pick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, really good pick, really good album. It like goes all over the place with genres. It's like you guys said, rock. It has like southern rock, I guess, and then some shoegaze, some indie, some funk, even some soul. Some songs were giving me like major Duran Jones vibes. So it's really good, and her voice also is, she has really great range. Like in that song, Sound and Color. Other songs like what song is it? Future People. Like her range on her voice, man, it's really good. Brittany Howard. So it's really solid. I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it either. I guess they won a couple like Grammys and stuff for it on this album, which well deserved. It's fantastic. So yeah, thanks for bringing this up. I know like I had seen it because we have like our thing that we share of what we're listening to on Spotify, and I had seen Alabama Shakes come up every now and then, Dorian. Like it would every now and then would just show up one week, and I'm like, oh, okay. But I would wait. I was waiting for you to bring it up, so thank you, because listening to the whole album front to back, it's a good listen.
Hell yeah. I'm glad that y'all got it's like seemingly the same amount of appreciation that I still have for it. Yeah, I've been waiting so long to bring this up. This is like the longest instance of I'm not bringing it up until I have it. This is one that I gave away to someone I knew 11 years ago. I gave this, or like, no, not 11. Like it's 10 years old. So yeah, I got it the year it came out, and I gave the record away to someone, and then could never find it. Or if we were in Portland, I'd find something that I was like, holy shit, can't believe I found this. And yeah, finally decided to pull the trigger on it when I went and saw Deftones last month or 2 months ago. But yeah, she's incredible. The whole band is incredible. I got to see them actually on this tour out in Bend at whatever that amphitheater was that now has changed names or whatever, or might not even, I don't know. I can't remember.
Homes.
Yeah, it was like Les Schwab Amphitheater before. Yeah, so I saw them back then when it was still Les Schwab, and I got to be like super close. And
cool.
This out like my God, man, it transfers so well live, and it's fantastic. And then they put this album out, and like 2 years later, just disbanded, like just went on hiatus. Just now came back, like literally 3 months ago. They're like, we're going on tour. I'm like. Like it's like the Beatles were playing Carson.
They're touring in Hayden Homes this summer too. Like they're gonna be there this year. Might
We'll
get
have to
tickets
make it happen.
now because this album kind of it's brought me forward to maybe doing it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna if we'll talk, but like we should, if you guys are interested, we should go. Audrey and I are talking about going already because I was like, it's still far and away one of like the top 5 shows I've ever been to. Like they just killed it, and like you said it, Jake, her voice is incredible, transfers insanely well to the stage. Like they're like it's a live setting, so they were like doing more like improv type of stuff in between songs. Their bassist is just this huge man wearing one of those like drug rugs and just playing the bass. Like he's like a weed nug came to life and started playing bass. Like it's just top notch. And yeah, this album, it does really like kind of go through a journey, and the songs make you happy. They make you so like they make you feel heartbroken just by listening to them, and it's to have an album that can do that, and you want more, like you keep coming back for more, and just like try to get every second out of every song is truly remarkable. And this was 2015 is a very interesting time for music like this. Like they were lumped in kind of with that indie revive movement, which I mean rightfully so. And then yeah, it's like it's always baffled me for the longest time that they just went on hiatus shortly after. I was like, why, man? You guys could be on top of the world right now. But I mean, without them going on hiatus, we don't get some really good solo work from Brittany Howard. So I mean, at the end of the day, not too pissed about it. So, but welcome back to the game, and yeah, I'm super stoked that you guys like this.
Yeah, no, it was good. Like some of the songs too, they're like slowed down. Some are more fast paced. Gemini, it's like kind of towards the end of the album, it's like feels really slow at first and kind of droggy, and then it just like ramps up like at the end. It's just like super loud, super powerful. So it's cool that they have like this different range that they can do. And I didn't listen to the deluxe edition, but I guess there's like some extra songs on there that they added, and some live songs too. So but I'll definitely have to check out their album before this, because like they don't have that much work, so they're pretty consistent. They're 2 for 2, like they're shooting 100% at the free throw. Like they're doing pretty good. So I'll have to check out that other album for sure.
Yeah, it's worth, especially like the way that I've always, because I've introduced, this is like one of those albums I'm like, stop, I have to tell you about this. If you like music at all, listen to this. Like, and then I say, and then after that, go listen to their first one. Like it's because I don't know why I've always done it that way, but their first album is just as good for different reasons. I think it has a little more of that Southern rock influence in it, which is, I love when they do that type of stuff. But yeah, it's also very much worth checking out. But Sound and Color to me is like a masterpiece. Like when this album came out, I was going to be a journalism student, and so I had a blog that I did like 2 posts on, and one was like ranking the top 10 albums of 2015, and it was like, this was far and away. I like wrote a whole dissertation, like like it was crazy. I went on like a diatribe in this blog. I was like, this man, what? I wish the URL wasn't dead for that, because I would literally just like throw it up as the description and just be like, there you go. But
oh yeah,
yeah, I love it. You mentioned Gemini, Jake. So I'll kind of go talk a little bit about that. Sound and Color was the track that got me into this album. I heard it, I think, on a playlist somewhere, like a genre, like a new, probably like hot new indie or whatever. And it was like, right place, right time. It came across my Spotify, got into the album, was like, hell yeah, was obsessed with this album, and then moved away from it for a little bit. And then when I was getting really into Biggie Smalls and being a fucking dirtbag, I was staying up super late and doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing back then. And I was showing this album to somebody, and Gemini came on, and I was like, I don't think I ever actually like fully heard that song and like the meaning behind it. And I was like, oh fuck. And it started like a whole second wave of being obsessed with this album, like listening to it nonstop. Yeah, this is one of the few albums that I have in a CD book in my car that like and it's probably one of the more frequent ones that I throw in there. It's like Lateralis and this are like constantly getting swapped out in that CD player. Like
Nice.
top notch.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I'm really debating on going to their show or not because we have 3 shows that we're going to there and we want to go to, like Rufus du Sol, but we haven't gotten tickets yet. We're still on the wait list, so this one might just have to sneak in the list at some point. But solid album. I'll definitely keep my eye out for this if I see this. If I go to any store, like the store I have here, it's not too big. It's just a lot of media, so like CDs and cassettes, some vinyl. So if they do eventually, if we go back there sometime and they have this, I'll probably end up picking it up. It's solid.
Hell yeah. I got this at Music Millennium, but the last time that the 3 of us were there, they didn't have it, but they had it at Everyday Music. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll pick it up next time. Music Millennium were there. I have it in my hand, and I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to gamble because there's a clear pressing, and I know that the other one that's in rotation is like sick ass magenta and black. And I was like, that would be tight. And so I was like, I'm just so happy to finally have it. I was like, let's just leave with this. We go to Everyday Music, and I was like, I looked at Audrey as we're checking out at Music Millennium. I'm like, watch, we're going to go to the other store, and the sick-ass magenta black one's going to be there that I haven't seen in like a year. Walk in, and right there is the sick-ass. I was like, God damn it. For like only like $1 more. I was like, God damn it. I was like, but I haven't been that right in a really long time. So that felt cool. Like I called it so perfectly, but I was like, damn it, man. It's like, but if you get the clear pressing, it's like crazy clear. Like you can look right through it. But hell yeah. Shall we top 3 it up?
Let's jump into it.
Let's do it. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I will go first. Honorable mentions for me. Number 1, Guess Who. It was kind of like that's a song that has never really been my favorite, but this time around, revisiting this album, I was really digging it. So honorable mention there. Second one, Miss You. The drum work on that song in particular, it does like some really cool drum breaks. It's really, really fun stuff there. Number 3, Gemini, started one of my big obsessions with it. Number 2, This Feeling, another one that snuck into my top 3. And then number 1 for me, Future People. Seeing that live, like it's been my favorite song since I saw them live when this came out. Incredible song.
Yeah, that song live would be intense, man. That sounds like an epic performance. Yeah, definitely in my top 3 too. Honorable mention for me was Shoegaze, just because of the title, and I don't know. Good song too. Did a good job with it. And then number 3 was Future People. Again, that's a good epic ballad, and they sound like they do it pretty well live, so that's cool. Number 2, Don't Want to Fight, just because it's catchy and it has just that kind of sassy soul to it, and it's just one of the songs that I remember very well off this album. And then This Feeling was my favorite track. Like you have it on your top 3 too, man. That's a good song. You know, it came in late, and it just kept coming and going on me, and I just kept it with me. It's my top track.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Nice. That's my honorable mention, The Feeling. That and Over My Head, I like how that one ended. Number 3, Don't Want to Fight. Yeah, very catchy, very fun. Number 2 was Dunes. Shit. And then my favorite track, probably Gemini, honestly. Like I like that. It just kind of threw me off as like very different from all the other ones. But I also wanted to put Give Me All Your Love in there just because that song like just sounds like Duran Jones. Like just fucking early Duran Jones. It threw me off. And I was like, is this the same album? Is this the same group? But it is. So I like that they're all over the place. It's a fucking solid album.
Rock on, baby. Glad that y'all guys enjoyed it. It's a great one, especially for this time of year. I figured it was now as good a time as any. And that album being 2015's Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. My pick for this beautiful episode 89 of Whatchu Spinnin. Go ahead and stick around. We got something coming from my buddy Jake. I think you're going to like it. So, Whatchu Spinnin. I put on the playlist of all of our albums today. Fucking walking in the morning before the sun is up to fucking Kid A. Whoo, taking some ripskis off the pen on my walk. Woo!
Damn.
Let me tell you, baby,
Nice.
that was a treat. I recommend it. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll talk about that album in a little bit. But just wanted to share that because I saw it and it reminded me of it. Anyway, what's up? It's time to move on with Whatchu Spinnin episode 89. We're coming at you live from the Papa's Pizza ball pit. Wrapped up talking about sound and color. I can't find my
car keys.
Who's touching me? We just finished talking about Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. Fantastic album. And we're going to move into something that could almost be considered in the same vein, but is wonderful in its own right, with Jake's pick for this week. What you got for me, man?
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked about this one. It is the back. This is the front. It's Hermanos Gutierrez, El Bueno y El Malo. The Brothers. Came out in 22. It's like, man, what do you put it in? It's like Western music. It's like acoustic instrumentals. It's like kind of just mellow, slow moving guitar riffs. I don't know, but it's lovely. I stumbled upon this, and I actually sent you guys how I stumbled upon it through Tiny Desk concerts. I love watching those shows, and when this came out, like the video, I saw it, and it drew me in first because of the name. I'm like, okay, cool, Spanish artist. Let me check it out. And then I was just hooked, man. I just heard that guitar. I heard this little slink guitar he has, the sliding guitar. And just him playing that, I was like, damn, that's really cool. And then I was like, okay, let me hear the album. And a lot of the songs on that concert were on this album. Like, they just played songs off of this album on that. So it made me appreciate it even more. I'm like, okay, this is what the recording sounds like. This is what the live sounds like. And it sounds awesome. So it really drew me in. I've loved them ever since then, and I've been listening to a lot more of their discography. But I know you guys had some time to sit on this, so what do you guys think about it?
Great pick. This is one that, like, I know through, like, Matt got into these guys also. Like, you brought over one of their records. And this is one that I guess I don't know if I wasn't necessarily like avoiding listening to these guys. I just like never went out of my way to listen to them. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, they're like, they must be good. The two people, the two guys whose opinion I respect the most about music fucking love them. So they like, sure, Hermanos Gutierrez. So when you brought this up, I was like, thank God I can finally, I was like, I'm going to be forced to listen to it. It was one of those like, I'm going to be forced to listen to it and probably enjoy it. And Jesus Christ, man, like, this is incredible. You were right. You said it perfectly. His lap steel that he's playing, that sliding thing, man, it's like, I haven't heard a whole album of something like that in a very long time, if ever, and it is super hard to kind of like pigeonhole and like pick what type of genre you would label it as. I've just been in my head just being like, this is just sick ass guitar music, man. Like, it's just, and reading the Wikipedia article about it today, it's like all of these genres were listed. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, I just really dug the hell out of it. I was like, yeah, it's got cumbia in there, sure. Like, but it's super dope. And I didn't know that they were like also Swiss, like, yeah, that's super cool. I was like, and once you know that information, you go back and listen to this album, it kind of makes sense because it's not fully Latin sounding. You know what I mean? Like, there is some other element to it that you can't quite place. And it's wonderful, and they got Dan Auerbach to produce it and actually jump on a track, which I thought was really cool. The guy from the Black Keys. And he, like, there's a part of the article that's pretty cool because it talks about how Dan talked about Hermanos Gutierrez, and he's like, they have such a deep rooted like partnership and like way that they play together that's so perfect. He's like, I have to be super careful or else I'm gonna fuck it up. And so that's why there's like very minimal percussion. And I was reading that this morning and I was relieved. I was like, dude, because it's all I've been thinking about. I'm like, all these other accents are like so tastefully placed and put, like the hand drums on Hermosa Drive, for example. Like that stuff you can barely hear, and it's just but it is so perfect and doesn't take away from anything. And so I thought that was really cool to read. And then, again, reading that information and then listening to it, you're like, oh yeah, like this is like more than just two dudes playing music together. Like it's such a deep rooted thing. So it's kind of cool to see like their siblingness, come out in it, which is pretty.
These guys are mind blowing. Jake, I'm jealous you got to see him live. I'm sure that performance was amazing. At some point, I hope to see him live too. But together, like you said, Dorian, they're so like in tune and in just with each other and what they're doing. The slide guitar is amazing. The effects that he uses with the delays that they're using throughout this album, so good. I mean, it adds a whole different dynamic to this. And we can't pigeonhole the genre. It's like spaghetti western, whatever that means, but it's not even a western. It's more like a slow moving. I feel like I'm riding a horse. I've got long hair, and I'm just like through the desert. Especially with the title track. Hear that title track to start off the album, and you're just like you ease right into it. And so I found these guys on YouTube as well through a live performance of the song Thunderbird from this album. Dove into the album. I'm like, geez, this is perfect. And they set themselves apart because each song does sound a little bit different on this album. It has kind of an overall feeling, but each song is different, and they're so good together. It's amazing. Seeing them live would be fun too, as long as the crowd was quiet. Because this is one of those concerts you want to go to. You don't want people talking in the background and being stupid and yelling requests. You want to just listen to the performance in general. And to sit there with just two people and two instruments, maybe a few effect pedals, and to make music like this is pretty creative and hard to do it well, to make you want to keep listening to it, So I love these guys. And the rest of their albums, this is, I think, their 5th album. So I need to kind of go backwards and listen to some more, because I've listened to the follow-up to this one, have it on vinyl as well. Super good, but it's different. So I like how they can approach those instruments and make each album a little bit different. So.
Yeah, well said. You guys like summed them up perfectly. Like, they have such a like that's their language. Their language is through their guitars. Like that's how they communicate. That's how they talk. It's very clear because they don't sing. They don't do anything. All their past albums, they don't have very many vocals. None of them sing. None of them really say anything. They just play their guitar. So if like you're a fan of guitar, this is for you. This album is for you. You don't need to like any genre like indie or rock or what have you. If you just appreciate what it sounds like, you'll like these guys. And yeah, man, the show, when I went to go see them in Portland last year, it was insane, man. It was so chill, such a chill venue. It was like summertime. Everyone was sitting like on the grass, like just looking and just like listening. No one was talking. No one was interrupting, doing anything. They were just doing their thing up on stage, and they'd have like some bongos, some maracas, some things they'll throw in, but it's like very subtle. They mainly just let their guitars sing and speak. So it's such a unique experience seeing that in person, because it's not a lot of shows are like that where you go and everyone's just relaxed, mellow, and listening. So it was cool. We got tickets to go see them this year again with the Black Keys, which should be cool. I'm sure they'll do. I'm sure they'll do a couple songs off of this album together. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, it's one of those bands that definitely, if you can stumble upon them and like see them live, if they're in your area, like go do it. I would recommend it. It's so. Just such a unique experience. It's really one of a kind.
Hello? Sorry. Could not hit the button. I was like, kept missing it. Yeah, man, it is. You kind of put it perfectly. If you like guitar, like anybody that likes guitar or guitar music or playing it should listen to this, because it is like, it's almost like you listen to it and you're like, oh shit, like you can make good music and not be flashy with it, or, not be overly complicated. You don't need all of this stuff. And it's like, not to say that what they're playing is like simplistic or boring, but it's not the Eddie Van Halen's, you know. It's but still like listening to it, it's like, damn man, like their mastery of the very minimalistic effects that they use and everything. It's just like, yeah. I gotta watch that Tiny Desk now because I'm very interested to see it because listening to this has truly been a treat. And yeah, just the every like the how do I phrase this? The way that they use the other elements, right, is like so like just adds so much texture and like an extra layer to what they're doing. Like there's tracks where they start out and you can already hear the delay pedal like kicking in and stuff, and it's just they start from it's crazy that you listen to this and then you look at them and it's just like, oh, it's two guys. Like and I love that shit.
Yeah, they create such a unique landscape too with each song. You know, it takes you on a journey. Like the song "Los Chicos Tristes," so sad the way it starts, but it kind of moves along a little bit more and it kind of turns into a happier vibe. But I love it when a musician can do that with each different track, especially an instrumental album like it is. You know, that you have to be able to see what's going on with the music, and I think each track represents itself really well, and you can do that and like make your own movie. Like I said earlier, riding on a horse through the desert. You know, there's so many different ways you could go at it, and these guys are so good and unique and amazing musicians.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great pronunciation, Matt. That was solid. I'm waiting. I'm like, let me hear Dorian. Let me hear him say it. No, but yeah, you summed it up perfectly. Like it's they tell a story throughout their songs, and it's hard to do when they don't have anything to say. They just have their instruments doing it. So it gives you that feel of like Western, and like you said, like riding through high desert, like you're in spirit. It's a great just listen. It's a great listen. We had fun listening to it on the record player, so I'm glad you guys liked it for sure. It's definitely one of my more like proud, I guess, like when I found this, like one of my like prouder and funner bands that I've come across. And it's not as like not as easy, I feel like, to kind of put people on, because if it's really chill, it's really it's mellow, it's not in your face, it's not crazy. If you're not going to this show to start moshing or anything. So but I feel like if you appreciate guitar and music, you could get into this album. So I'm glad you guys liked it.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. No, I just love the visual of someone being like, yeah, I got my head stepped on at the Hermanos Gutierrez show. I was moshing too hard. And it's like, yeah, just that visual is like, pew, pew, pew. It's like, it doesn't.
Everybody slow motion moshing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the end of an action flick. I love it. Hell yeah, man. Shall we top it up?
Yeah, let's. I'll go honorable mention. Let me get that off my screen. Honorable mention, Tres Hermanos. That song, you hear that sliding guitar. Seeing it in person was cool too. I'm like, oh, that's that thing they used, and it's just like a little mini thing that they just like slide something on and makes a really cool noise. So that's honorable mention. Number 3 was El Bueno y el Malo. Love that opening. That's the title track. That is the title track. Like that's one of the best title tracks I've heard, especially for an opening of an album. It's perfect. Thunderbird was number 2. It feels like they're like just bouncing back and forth with the guitar, like trying to one up each other in a way. And then Cielo Grande, it's that song. It just feels cinematic. Like it feels like you're on a long drive, this in the background, enjoying life. That song has really been my favorite recently.
Nice, very cool. For me, honorable mention also Tres Hermanos, just because of Dan Auerbach appearance, and just kind of a cool blend of instruments all together. Number 3, Pueblo Man, like that song, just kind of a different one. Number 2, Los Chicos Tristes, which I brought up a little while ago. Such a sad, happy vibe, but it all creates a landscape that's beautiful to watch and look at in your mind. And then my favorite track, first track I heard by these guys is Thunderbird, because that, like you said, Jake, goes back and forth, like they're dueling almost. Great album.
Great album indeed. Honorable mention for me is Tres Hermanos. Love the Dan on there. You can tell that he brings something a little different than what they've got to the table. So that was kind of cool to hear. But he's also, again, tasteful is kind of the word I would use to describe this album. He does it there. Number 3 for me is Thunderbird. We all kind of like that one. All like the dueling aspect, kind of. It is one where you can really tell, like, oh, there's, kind of good shit like that. Number 2 for me was Los Amantes toward the end of the album. Kind of like that vibe that it's got. It's kind of... For an album, it's kind of weird to say like it mellows out a little bit for a mellow album like this, but that one had like a noticeable kind of vibe change for me. Number 1 for me, spoke about this one earlier, Hermosa Drive. The guitar work on it is incredible, but just the song as a whole drew me in immediately. So yeah, that's my number 1. Hell yeah.
This is like music for cowboys, I'd say.
Yeah.
There we go. Man.
Yeah. I love it. It really is. And El Bueno y El Mal, like that's perfect name. They were to immediately based off of that, there were like the good, the bad, and the ugly comparisons. And they're like, well, yeah, dummy, that's what we were going for. And it's like, yeah, good on you. So yeah, just incredible. I'm glad that you brought it up so I could get forced to listen to it. And now my little peepers are peeled to find it in the wild myself. That was El Bueno y El Mal from 2022 from the group Hermanos Gutierrez. Great stuff. Go ahead and give it a listen and let us know what you think about it in the comments below. And see him live, apparently, you lucky bastard. Anyway, we'll be right back to talk about our third pick for this week, Mr. Matt's one that I am super stoked to talk about as well. We'll be right back. It's Whatchu Spinnin' episode 89. Hey, how's it going, fellas? Y'all ready? Let's go ahead and get right on into it. It's time to wrap it up almost. Not so fast. We're not to everybody's favorite part yet. But man, if I ain't I was going to do an analogy anyway. I'm excited to talk about this album. Matt, why don't you go ahead and let the people know what you got?
We are going back in time to the year 2000. Departure point for this band, I guess, in a sense. They had a few good albums before this came out, and then this album kind of set things apart for them in a positive direction. I think songwriting, musically, and just made more accessible to people that weren't really into that kind of vibe they had on their first few albums. I love this album. This is Radiohead's Kid A. I have the double album that has their follow-up album on here, but we're just talking about Kid A today. This album's also good, so check out that at some point. This album for me has everything. It's got the rock songs with like National Anthem. It's got the slow, weird ambient intros with everything in its right place, and from there it just kind of takes you on a journey. I remember listening to this album kind of after high school and just doing a lot of drugs and being stupid, but it's a fun, unique album that showcases what a band can do. I know a lot of work that went behind this album, whether it be the songwriting or the production or just creating the album itself, was pretty tense and pretty solo and alienated in a sense. But what you hear, you can't really tell that. I feel like this is a great album. I feel like they probably worked together really well. And I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, this was my first listening to this full album. I hadn't heard this whole thing. I had heard a song or two, like the National Anthem, just because that's more of a rock song on here that kind of sounds like Radiohead, but not this whole album front to back. And I guess for a lot of people that not scared, but like it kind of threw people off because they weren't expecting this from these guys. Like it's way different to what they were doing before this with like OK Computer, and like Pablo Honey. It's like not very like that. It's more experimental, more electronic, like IDM or whatever. It's a lot of like just abstract and kind of weird, freaky at times. Some weird like vocal chops with like everything in its right place, and also Kid A with this like weird like distortion effects that they were doing. So kind of out of left field from them, but pretty good listen. I could see that they had a lot of influence from Aphex Twin, which kind of cool. This is like third or fourth time that we've talked about Aphex Twin come up just out of nowhere. So a lot of influence from him coming out, and then kind of cool that we see that throughout music. But good listen. I had not heard this full thing, and I'm glad I did now.
Yeah, this was certainly a treat to listen to. I'm kind of in the same boat, Jake, to where I hadn't heard really a full listen through of this. I feel like I'd probably heard this, the same tracks as you. I hadn't listened to any other Radiohead album other than In Rainbows that you had mentioned. But man, yeah, like I said, walking to this album at 5 a.m. before the sun was even up was truly a treat. You do kind of get like you said, Kid A is like super weird and like just like sounds like an angry robot. And so you just get weird stuff like that, and it's you listen. What Radiohead's known for is nowhere near this, right? Like the common folk that aren't into Radiohead or this type of music, they know Creep, and that's where it starts and stops. But then you listen to a full project like Kid A, and you're like, oh, holy shit, this is insane. I thought that they were like one of the biggest, and whatever they are, whatever genre you want to consider them, because there's such an amalgamation of all of them. But yeah, doing this weird ambient stuff is super cool, super trippy. Reading the backstory, like you said, Matt, is also very interesting, because you're like, what the, like, they just would pair off and make stuff and then come back together and be like, now you guys do something with it. Like, so weird, and such a trip to kind of read and listen to this and everything associated with it.
Yeah, the songwriting too, I think it wasn't like super thought out. It was just kind of put together at different parts. And I think Tom York took some inspiration from a few other artists on how they did that thing. I was looking up about it earlier this morning, and David Byrne was a big inspiration for the songwriting on this album, just to be more abstract and obscure, which is in a sense what this album is. It's not a Radiohead album, and that's, like you said, that's why I brought it up, kind of just to bring out a different variety of this band, because they are known for the Pablo and the Creep and OK Computer, and even after that. So this album showcases a lot of what they can do. Songs like Tree Fingers takes that ambient vibe to a whole new level, and you wouldn't know it's a Radiohead song unless you looked it up, or unless you knew the band, or if you heard the song before, whatever. But overall, this album just showcases so many unique talents that these guys are and have been, and probably why they're one of the best rock bands out there, or considered one of the best rock bands, to be around. Each album's different. This is a good way to branch out and be like, okay, this is what else they can do.
Definitely threw me for a loop. Tree Fingers. It, like, I was like, when did the album end? And it just queued up like
when did Brian
something else? Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? But like songs like that, and then even the like song, the national anthem, like that sounds like Radiohead, but it kind of still sounds like a robotic voice. And I like that bass line on there. But yeah, they're kind of breaking out of their mold of being, like Radiohead. They were just kind of trying something different. I even read that they wanted to change their name, like change the band name because of this album. Like they were considering, just like branching off, doing something completely different. So you could tell that they wanted to, kind of experiment, do something a little bit out of the ordinary, and they did it, and they did it well. It's a fantastic album. Definitely like one that I liked, but I hadn't fully dove into. It's just like another one of those like, oh yeah, like Radiohead, it's probably a good album if you listen to it. But if you listen to it, like you'll get a lot more appreciation out of it. Like, yeah, it's a good album, but it's so different to everything else that they've done. Like it kind of in that aspects makes me appreciate it more because they're kind of going out of their boundaries with it.
Yeah, very, very much so. And it's such a trip to listen to it, and the reaction that I had to it, like I loved it from the jump. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this rules. And it was a reaction that I haven't had since I heard Post by Bjork last year, which was super cool. So I was like, oh shit, like what is this? Like how have I, because it kind of you hear something like so how do I phrase this? It's Radiohead, right? Like it's a name, it's a household name, whether you listen to him or not. You're like, if you mention Radiohead, people are like, oh yeah, like Tom York, basically. The guy with the one eye that's like Lawrence Fishburne, basically. But it's something like that. And then you listen to it and you're like, oh shit, I had no clue. Like I had no clue that this is what this album sounded like, because you hear, like you guys have mentioned, you hear Kid A, you're like, yep, it's a fantastic album. Like it's heralded as a great. It's one of the best in their discography, according to people that listen to him and like music reviews. And then you listen to it, and it's like getting a slap in the face. You're like, what the hell? Like how? Where was I? Like I'm walking around listening to this, and songs like Idiot Tech come on, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, man, I have been, and it just makes you think, you're like, man, if I heard this 6 years ago or 3 years ago, like this would have been insane. Like this would have been perfect for this scenario in my life. Like I went through that this morning listening to this again, like fully on my walk. Your mind's going. I was like, man, like this is really just a phenomenal album. And so I love that it gave me that experience again that I had similarly last year. And yeah, Tree Fingers, you guys loved it. I also love that song. So, and I love that Idiot or what was it? In reading it, his lyrics were almost nonsensical, and he admitted that. He's like, yeah, like Morning Bell or whatever, like it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, all right, well, at least you like acknowledge that, because he didn't want to do that. And you read the transcripts of like interviews that he did around this time, and you're like, all right, dude, like chill. He's like, I hate melody now, and I'm like, all right, let's go ahead.
Radiohead, yeah. I think he's getting burnt out at that point. And who knows, everybody's got their own sound, but Radiohead has their own sound, and I don't know. Everybody tries to sound like themselves, but eventually you're going to sound like somebody else. But Tom York's a good songwriter. Johnny Green was a good guitar player, great musician. And the rest of the band's amazing as well. Songs like Optimistic and In Limbo, those two coming together, middle of the album, that showcases what Radiohead is all about. The transitions they put into both those songs, taking it from the rock vibe to the slower down ambient vibe. And this album is just top notch for me. One of my favorites out of their discography for sure.
I think you had mentioned because that day you came over and I asked you, I was like, all right, give me the skinny. Like, where do I go? And you're like, well, if you want to do Radiohead's discography, you could start with like the Bends. And you and I had talked, I think, on the show that I had recently listened to that album, and I liked it. I wish I would have listened to you, and you said listen to Kid A if you're into like, I can't remember what you used to describe it, but I'm glad I did. And it is kind of like an eye-opening experience to like Tom York and everything, because recently I saw a video of him doing one of those Boiler Room sets where he's just like DJing, and he played like America's Most Blunted by Mad Villain, and like again played like Aphex Twin shit. And I was like, oh, he's like one of us. I was like, he's like a cool dude. I'm like, nice. I was like, he may be pompous or whatever, or like, this like, he's such a character, and I don't mean that in like the insult way that people throw it around. Like, he's become such a figure in music that he's like almost an enigma. Like he's just a kooky character, and I'm like, oh no, this is like, he can make some cool stuff. He might be out of his goddamn mind, but he's one of us. He likes some good music, and he can make a damn good, basically an ambient album when you cut it down to brass tacks. So hell yeah, thank you for bringing this up. I love that David Byrne shouted this album out at like their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, which was probably a huge like full circle moment for them. So that recognition alone is like, go ahead and listen to this album if you have.
Damn, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, I've got like so much more appreciation for it. The like cover of the album too, it like perfectly sums up the album. Like you think it's like a perfect picture, but then there's just like some distortion, some like glitch in the matrix that it's not what it should be, but it's, you know, it take it how you will. This album is kind of in a way like all over the place. In certain ways it's well thought out, like they know where they're sequencing everything. How to Disappear Completely, also that song kind of threw me for a loop. They kind of have like these like not like sad but kind of like depressing kind of feel to them, but still just kind of being out there and changing up their style. So it's a real interesting listen. Like I feel like I need to listen to it more to like, you know, more and more understand it, because it's, you know, there's so much detail to it, so many layers that you can listen to a bunch of songs on this album and get different genres out of it, like different vibes out of it. So really interesting, really cool, and I really liked it. So thanks for bringing it up.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. Shall we?
Let's dive. Devil horns! For me, honorable mention, National Anthem. Very accessible for any Radiohead fan or just a fan of music in general. It's a great track. Number 3 was Morning Bell. I like that one. Kind of forgot about that song, actually. And then number 2 would be Optimistic. And then number 1 was In Limbo. Those two together, man. Those are just my favorite tracks. Great album.
Hell yeah. Going off of that, honorable mention for me was How to Disappear Completely. It was one of those like, what's this song called? Oh yeah, perfect title for it, actually. And just loved the feel, like it evokes a feeling, both the title itself and the music. Number 3 for me, Everything in Its Right Place. Pretty stripped down like way to start the album. Kind of it doesn't show doesn't show its hand, you know what I mean? Like it's not a song that's like, hey, this is what the album's gonna be. And number 2 for me was Kid A. I love that weird little vocal distortion thing going on. Very Aphex, in a way. And the number 1 for me was Idiotech. Yeah, that beat on that song and just the whole thing. It's just such a bang. It's like just a banging song, man.
Yeah, I like how like he uses his voice as like an instrument, and that's kind of what he was talking about in what I was reading, that he like the sound of like electronic music, how they just didn't have like, you know, ordinary like guitars or drums or anything. They just kind of used random things to make sounds with in music. So he kind of uses his voice there as those like vocal chops that he does to give it a different sound. Honorable mention for me was National Anthem. Number 3 was Tree Fingers. Very cool. I like that song. Very like ambient feel to it. Number 2 In Limbo. Optimistic and In Limbo is like the perfect sequence too. They like go hand in hand right next to each other. And my favorite track, Everything in Its Right Place. That's like just intro. You just hear that and it's just oozing with character. I love it.
Glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought it up. Hell yeah. Well, Matt, excellent pick. That pick being Kid A by Radiohead, released in the year 2000. And that'll do it for episode 89 of Whatchu Spinnin'. But go ahead and stick around. We're going to let you know what's coming in about 2 weeks' time for episode 90 of this here program, Whatchu Spinnin'. Stick around. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do it. It is time to wrap up Whatchu Spinnin', episode 89, truly and fully, by telling you what's coming 2 weeks from now on episode 90. We did a little behind the scenes, BTS as the kids say, and chatted, and we're going to do a theme for episode 90, but we're just announcing it right now. So you guys, if you're listening, congrats, you're here for the news. We're doing all albums from the great country of Japan. There's some great stuff from there. We've kind of driven by and talked about some of those here and there in our What Have You Been Listening to Lately segment. So we decided to say screw it and let's dedicate a full episode to it. But in order to do that and let you know what's coming, we got to go in the order that we just talked in, which means I'm going first. And I think this album is one of those like recorded back in 1984, but came out like 2022. It is Yasuaki Shimizu Kirin. Yasuaki Shimizu is a saxophonist, but this is him like doing some more like electronic quote unquote dance, literally quote unquote off the sticker that was on this when I bought it. Some pretty cool stuff. I think we'll get a kick out of it. It's another one of those. Now I get to take the ball, Matt, and your pick kind of leaned me into this.
Okay, nice.
So it's kind of in that weird, like you'll hear it and you'll understand what I mean by that. So yeah, Yasuaki Shimizu Kirin.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. That I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, that threw me off. My pick, debut album from Masayoshi Takanaka. Seychelles. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've been sitting on this one, boys, for a while.
I know. That's why I said thank God. I was like, finally.
Yeah, I've been wanting to bring this up. I think it's time. Masayoshi Takanaka came out in 1976.
Nice.
Wonderful.
I'm bringing up a compilation album. It's called Somewhere Between. It's basically mutant pop, minimalism, and shadow sounds of Japan from 1980 to 1988. I figured that went well with my pick from this last week. So
nice.
Somewhere between.
You brought this up before, and I was curious, so thank you.
Yeah.
The shadow sounds, dude. I think we were together when you bought that or something.
We were.
Yeah.
Nope,
yeah, dude. Fucking shadow sounds. Oh man, that's gonna be sick. And Seychelles and the Kirin, dude. This is gonna be a good one. I think we might have knocked it out of the park here, but you'll have to find out by watching next episode of Whatchu Spinnin'. Thanks for sticking around and listening to this one. These were some great albums. The next 3 are gonna be great. Always love doing a themed episode, and this one kind of really pushes us out of our box, so that'll be extra awesome. Go ahead and tell a friend about the show. We are everywhere where an RSS feed feeds into, which means your granddad's favorite podcasting network, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, the big kahunas as well. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Whatchu Spinnin'. Follow me at Dorian Dilly, constantly sharing music you should be listening to, and all sorts of good stuff. Whenever we go to shows, we post some stuff there. Go ahead and see local music. Support your local record store. If you're in Eugene, go say hi to Callie. And hey, guess what? Next weekend is Record Store Day. Good opportunity to get out and go support local business and, maybe see some cool new shit. I know last year Randy Savage had an album, like a weird pressing of a thing come out. So there's always some weird kooky shit that gets pressed on these Record Store Days. But anyway, it's starting to get sunny where we are. Hopefully it is wherever you live, which means it's time to start having some fun, having some good food with some good friends, listening to some good music outside. But yeah, I'm Dorian. That's Matt. And that's Jake. We are Whatchu Spinnin', and we thank you for stopping by. Go ahead and take it easy. And if your refrigerator's running, might want to go catch it. Deuces.